When it comes to the art and animation community on TikTok, I am generally averse to covering it. However, 2 animators on TikTok have come under fire, and I've perked my ears to these 2 situations because of the reason why they were so scrutinized. The other artists will be covered in another video, but the first person I will be covering is Boyfish. Boyfish is a 14-year-old animator whose art is mainly known for being very bright and bouncy. Their art is very unique in many aspects, including style, colors, animation, and even their own character, which is a unique concept. We'll discuss their art more in depth, but for now, let's just stick with the context. There isn't inherently anything wrong with the character or art, but being an artist with a unique art style on TikTok is like sticking your hand in a hornet's nest. Someone posted an opinionated video about how they don't like this insert creator's art, and it created a mob mentality. And I'm not joking when I say I get deja vu from seeing this cycle of disliking an artist for whatever reason, posting about it, and now there's a hate dump surrounding this person. It's even worse if they're minors because most of them were. The real controversy started when someone came out saying that he had a seizure due to one of Boyfish's animations. There is no doubt that Boyfish's art is not accessible to certain audiences that can't handle bright colors and lots of movement. While for me their art isn't inherently harmful, I have very sensitive eyes. Seeing anything in blue light makes my head hurt to a tremendous degree, but that's something for me to handle. It isn't Boyfish's responsibility to make their art visually pleasing for me to look at just because my eyes can't handle it. But there is something worth criticizing regarding Boyfish, considering he is primarily a TikTok artist. If you've never been on TikTok, you are not supposed to know what the next video you're scrolling onto is. Because of this, TikTok has multiple accommodating features in place, such as warning or straight up not showing photosensitive imagery. But I've heard this feature doesn't work most of the time. Boyfish's art would have been shown to a photosensitive person and potentially harmed them, and this has been a reasonable criticism brought up. And while he did respond to this criticism by adding a flash warning in his Happy Halloween animation meme, it was shown for 0.2 seconds before immediately showing bright moving colors. This was fixed on TikTok with a 5-second warning, but it remains the same on YouTube, which in my opinion is less of an issue because you can click on a video on YouTube while TikTok not so much. I wanted to be clear that there were people actually giving him criticism for the lack of flash warnings, but there are a lot of people then and now harassing him for his art and using the lack of warnings as an excuse, and that I do not support these people, but we'll get into that. Now let's discuss the person who allegedly had a seizure over Boyfish's art. I will keep them anonymous to protect their identity from harassment, but this was expressed in a comment under a video I have yet to find the original of. But the important note is that this person commented, "Boyfish made me have a seizure once though." This comment ended up getting a lot of attention, with people making videos about it, to which they unfortunately got harassed over allegedly having a seizure. They discussed this because someone had edited that DM of an unknown person saying that seizure should have ended you as Boyfish, and that's not what happened. People have been using this person's medical condition to spread hate and misinformation, and they addressed it perfectly. What's important to note is that they had a focal seizure, which is not like the type of seizures people usually think of, and I'll explain that soon. What does concern me is that they ended the statement by saying neither they or Boyfish are at fault for what happened to them. And while I agree that the seizure is entirely uncontrollable and is not intentional unless you are shoving flashing lights into a person's eyes to cause a seizure, their comment was worded in a way that implied the cause of the seizure was Boyfish himself, which can be just a mistake of miswording, but regardless, the internet took it as someone intentionally causing someone to seize, and that does warrant some criticism, but they did clear it up saying not to spread their medical condition and what happened to spread hate, and I have no notes there. But I want to bring up one last thing, and that's the misconception of seizures that this situation caused. No, this isn't in the script, but I would figure I would put this in the video somehow. I have never had a seizure. I am not knowledgeable on seizures to any sort of professional degree or any personal experience. This section is mainly just grabbed from articles and just surface level research. And while I've never had a seizure, my medical condition that I do have in some severe cases has caused seizures. So while it is possible for me to have one because of my medical condition, I've never had one. So, just to clarify. Anyways, back to the video. Seizures are called by a multitude of things because they are a sudden burst of electrical activity in the brain. Whether it be epilepsy, the most common cause, head injuries, a stroke, infections like meningitis, brain tumors, alcohol withdrawal, or anything that affects you neurologically. There are many different types of seizures, not just generalized seizures, which are the most well known. There are focal seizures, focal aware seizures, focal impaired seizures, focal to bilateral tonic-clonic seizures, gelastic seizures, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, diachristic seizures, clonic seizures, absent seizures, and myoclonic seizures. It's a lot, I know, but the point is, whenever you hear the word seizure, you shouldn't immediately assume epilepsy or convulsions. But it's important to be aware because you can have a seizure even if you are cognitively okay. Seizures can be deadly, but they can also not be deadly. It depends on the type, but people have the misconception that all seizures are deadly. And that's what caused people to think Boyfish almost killed someone with flashy colors, when that's not that happened. And I'm glad the person clarified, and I hope that they're doing alright. I am also like 90% sure the person affected is a minor as well as Boyfish, so you shouldn't crucify either party for simply making a mistake or misconception. They're both children. What I discussed before was the only part worth Boyfish to be criticized over, and yet I see many people accusing Boyfish of having a quote booner art style, and that their art is fetish content, and conspiring over if they might be a creep, which is insane to say about a 14-year-old. The main reason why people think this is because of how much the character moves in animation, which includes their chest. The character is obviously plus-sized, and surprise, surprise, plus-sized people are going to have bigger chests. It's a matter of fat distribution and anatomy. It in no way has any indication of a fetish. You can argue that the animation of the chest moving is what makes this a fetish, but literally everything moves and not in an organic way. I've never seen a bow move like jelly. The art style doesn't even indicate anything sexual. The only exaggerated parts of the body are the hands and feet, being very small. Just heavy stylization and cartoony aspects. This makes me wonder, honestly, how someone finds this sexual or a fetish. Is it because the character has a chest? Is the character being fat the reason? A bigger chest and fat aren't inherently sexual either. And to emphasize, this artist is only 14 years old. So this honestly has to be the issue of the viewer. This brings a big discussion into fruition because why are we calling a 14-year-old's art a fetish? Because the character has a bigger body and bigger chest? It's such an issue how we see people's bodies as objects, no matter the context. People say that just because a character has a bigger chest and or a bigger body, that you are inherently sexual, and it's a gross way of thinking, especially towards minors and their creations. To see similar body types be labeled as a fetish for simply existing with no innuendo whatsoever puts this narrative that you exist to be sexual, and that's disgusting. People can't show appreciation for your body or gender without it being seen as sexual. Plus-sized people and women with bigger chests apparently can't exist without their bodies being seen as a fetish. And that says a lot about the people objectifying and calling anything a fetish than those making art and appreciating these bodies by simply portraying them. Whether that be in art or any kind of media, this mindset needs to change. If you see a woman with a bigger chest or a plus-size character just existing in art, you need to do some self-reflection if your first thought is something sexual or to call it a fetish, especially if the creator is a minor. Another thing, if you're drawing Boyfish's character over multiple fetish art pieces, like that one Kevin Spencer Lottie piece, or that fuck-ass Incredible Gassy, that makes you a weirder person, not Boyfish. Especially since, I don't know, they're 14 fucking years old. I honestly didn't expect to get so passionate about a drama where some minor's art was bright and colorful and the TikTokians got mad. But this honestly got me thinking. The TikTok art sphere has issues, obviously. There are countless videos about the TikTok art community and its alleged toxicity to young artists. Yet there hasn't been much change in how we treat artists, especially young ones who express different views in their art. I think because TikTok is a short-form content app, we only see a very small portion of what a person and their creations are like. And because your brain gets so used to seeing 15 to 60-second videos, it's conditioned to create a conclusion based on less than a minute's worth of content, with most of the people making TikToks and people watching being under 17. It creates a much smaller window of understanding when it comes to those who are different, whether it be through art or any kind of content. This is just a hypothesis. I have no scientific proof to back up this claim, but it raises the question, is TikTok really a place for artists? Should artists migrate to traditional art forms like Instagram or Tumblr again? Or maybe even DeviantArt? Is there a place for artists to make content without being ruthlessly clowned on anymore? If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment your thoughts, and consider subscribing. It helps a lot. You can also join my Discord server to talk with my little community. I have a Ko-Fi with commissions open, a shop with adopts, and even a membership where you can see exclusive stuff and art early. With that being said, have a good day or night, and please drink some water.